Dr. Enabulele.
Thank you very much. Let me first of all commend the speakers who have spoken so far. It's been very enlightening and very informative as well. I want to say that the issue of mental state assessment is not only restricted, really, like you mentioned, to the police force or officers of the police force.
Yeah.
I recall that when I served in the 2014 National Conference that was considered by the then President, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, I was the one who moved the position at plenary that even would-be political leaders need some level of mental state assessment.
Yeah.
And I did not mince words about that because it was very clear to me that those who are leading us, a large chunk of them, perhaps need to be reevaluated mentally. Talk less of the police that, of course, is out there facing the oddities, and all the, of course, impacts of poor governance. So there is no doubting the fact that, yes, the police, officers of the police force need mental state assessment because, like for anybody who is even going to handle firearms, one of the very fundamental assessments you need to do is to be sure of the person's mental state. So for those who regularly handle this, it's no gainsaying that this is what I'll call a necessary requirement, and of course, like Ney said, we also know that people have certain tendencies before they come into the police force. Just like we always say, you have to understand where the individual is coming from before he, of course, transited into that institutionalized frame. In other words, not everybody who comes into the police force is at the same level. Some were naturally had some natural tendencies, which a mental state assessment will be able to unfold, and of course, get those individuals to be properly rehabilitated. And those who cannot be rehabilitated, maybe you kick them out of the force, rather than having people who are going to be liability to society, and of course, carry out acts that will be inimical to progress, and of course, end up messing up the police force. So I think this is a necessary requirement, even though as physicians, we're always very careful before you tag people. You must have clear evidence, you must have clear reason to, of course, ask that this be done. And I've tried to give the basis, really, because going through the Nigerian roads, for instance, I mean, you don't need anybody to tell you that, look, these guys, even for mere fact that you have people who are constantly exposed to, all sorts of challenges on the highways. I mean, we're all human. Such individuals may not necessarily be the way we want them to be. And so from time to time, even not clear-cut mental state assessment, some level of psychological, adjustments, psychological attunement is very necessary. And I think this is, when they talk about reform, I think it's not just about this whole issue of changing from SARS to SWOT. We need to be clear about what we're asking for. And I think what Nigerians are asking for is what I think is what we may consider as holistic reforms. And when I say holistic reforms, right from the entry to the processing of these officers, and of course, even to the point of, all the officers, the rank and file, from beginning to the end. Is it the issue of how they are recruited? How are they recruited? What are the qualifications? What assessments are done? What is the state of health of these officers who come in? And even when they come in, how are they trained? How are they orientated? How are they psychologically attuned? All of this, the processes, the training and retraining and all of that, they're very important amongst several other factors, which of course I've not been called to talk about, but if I'm given the time, I can also, but clearly again, on the point of mental state assessment, I think I've made the point that this is a sine qua non, as well as I'm concerned, towards the kind of reform police officers that we want to see in Nigeria. Clearly, they all need to go through that, not only for the fact that we need to use that to unfold what is called the pre-morbid personalities of some of these officers, but also because of what you may call the exposures, even within during the operations. Yep. They need to have that on a regular basis, and if you like I said, psychological attunements from time to time to, ease them off some of these moods, some of these, tendencies that they sometimes exhibit, as a result of some extrinsic triggers, some natural propensities. I would like to leave it at that for now, based on what you asked me to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Enabulele. That was very good.